it play and call it work.
MiniWarGamer Dave here from MiniWarGaming.com here at Warhammer World, and standing beside Duncan! Duncan, the painter, the man who does all of the stuff that makes the things look pretty. Am I wrong?
Not completely wrong.
Partially right, partially
sort of. It's like 50-50, you know,
it's
halfway
50,
there.
Yeah. It's got a little bit of a glaze, a little bit of gloss, a little bit of shading.
That's right.
It wasn't 50-50, it was looking in threes, but that's okay. I have a little bit of questions for you, because it's been a long time since I've painted anything consistently, and the last time I painted a miniature was like...
Are you saying you play games with unpainted models?
Well, you said it, and I didn't disagree. So, what would you recommend to a person who has a desire to paint, but who doesn't paint currently, not because they don't want to, but because of time? And that sounds like the language of excuses, but we don't like to speak that language.
Pick an army that you can dry brush really fast. Like Necrons, spray them silver, dry brush them, there you go. Yeah.
What if I was a Chaos player, and not Demons, because that's not the same thing?
Okay, if you're a Chaos player, then you've kind of shot yourself in the foot a little bit, I'm afraid. No, it's fine, it's fine. It's all down to what colour scheme you pick. Do Iron Warriors. You'll fly through them.
Iron within, iron without.
That's right, that's right. Everyone likes the Iron Warriors. Good stories about them too.
That's not untrue. Duncan, you're a good person, and I can sense it, and I can see why they chose you to do the job that you do.
I'm very lucky to do the job I do. I certainly didn't get into the studio with any of this in mind. I was really just in the right place at the right time. My schedule was free when we wanted to experiment with doing a painting video tutorial that went in the How to Paint Settler Miniatures book, and so I ended up doing it, and it just sort of naturally evolved from there. I got on really well with the guy who was directing it, Roger Yates, who is still my director now, and we were just a team that was worked really well, so it was very natural.
So how many years have you been painting?
I've been painting since I was 11, so that's, 21 years now?
Are you asking me or telling me?
I don't know. It feels like a long time. It's hard to remember a time when I wasn't painting stuff.
Okay, so pretty much you're always painting in your sleep, and you paint many things. How many models would you say you have painted, if you had to guess?
I would say there's definitely more than 20.
20K?
I think it's in the thousands, I would think.
Well, it's got to be in the thousands, because mine is like between 500 and 1,000, and I haven't painted in a lot. Seriously, I painted 100 cultists in one day one time.
That's incredible. That's something to be proud of.
I did it on a live show, and it was like 8 hours.
That's the kind of thing my friend Chris Beach would do. He's all about the speed painting. I wish I knew. I'd love to know how many Space Marines are painted, and how many Ultramarines.
That's probably between 500 and 1,000 for you.
Actually,
probably like 2,000, 3,000.
Might have been a whole chapter.
That's even... Dude, like seriously. It might have been. You're not even kidding. You're looking at me. You actually might be serious. You might be telling the truth to me right now.
I really don't know. I painted a lot of Space Marines. But when you paint them in the studio, they're not yours, so you don't have that well, you do kind of have an attachment to them, but once they're done, and you're on to the next thing. So you kind of forget how many you've done. So it's a lot. There
actually wasn't a definitive number there, so if I were to say you would get a quid for every model you painted, how many models do you think you painted?
Enough to send me on holiday somewhere really nice.
For a very long time?
Yeah.
So what do you like painting the best?
I think I really like painting Nurgle stuff, because it's really easy to do the effects that you see, all the sort of like horrible...
I did not pay you to say that, but yeah, please continue.
No, it's true. One of my favourite videos that we've done was painting Orgot's Demon Spew on the Magathlord, because the painting videos, what I find most fulfilling about them is when we do something that looks really complicated but make it really easy, and that model's got loads of that kind of thing done on it, especially on the Magath itself. So
you said make it look easy. Is it actually easy?
Yeah, it genuinely is. Once you understand how many thin layers to apply, and how to thin your paint, all that kind of stuff, actually it all pieces together very easily. And so a lot of the content of what I think is useful about our videos is you literally see that, which gives it an advantage over a photograph, in which you don't see that kind of thing. But yeah, we're always trying to make it achievable. We're always looking for those easy techniques to allow people to get the results that they want. Painting something that you're really proud of shouldn't just be like what a small group can do. Everyone should be able to do this stuff if they want to.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. There's going to be two options. You got to choose an option, okay?
Okay.
Infantry or tanks?
Oh, tanks.
Red or blue?
Blue.
White or gray?
Gray.
Monstrous creatures or vehicles?
Oh, probably vehicles, I think. For the tanks thing, does that count as big robots like knights?
No.
Can I change that one?
Yes.
All right, infantry. Okay. How about you?
Well, it's infantry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you said how about me? It's like the 5 questions that I asked you, or just that one?
Well, just that one.
Infantry. Maybe cultists.
cultists, lots of 100 cultists.
Yeah, 100
Yeah.
cultists,
Yeah.
all in a day,
Yeah.
all with washes or 3.
That's not bad. That's not bad. You see, that's how Peachy paints a lot of his stuff. He just uses washes on things. It's incredible.
Washes or glazes?
Washes.
I had a little skip in the warp there, and so that's what that looks like manifested physically before your
it's the
face.
time delay. It's the time
It is,
delay.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
We are in England after all.
Yeah,
We're
it's not the
a few-
jet lag either.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's a little bit of yeah. Okay, what's your favorite army?
For which game?
40K.
I would say the Imperial Knights. I think.
The
It's a
Imperial-
tough one because I also really like the Death Watch. And yeah, there's a lot of different bits about Warhammer 40,000 I like, but I love the story and style of Imperial Knights. But rather than just Imperial Knights themselves, I like them with their supporting infantry to sort of get that whole culture and appearance on the tabletop.
Is it also because it's one big model and it's easier to paint?
Oh, no. I think it's amazing that it's easy to paint. I think that's an example of a kit that's been really beautifully designed to make it easy for the painter. To keep all the armour separate, spray the skeleton silver, do your washes, dry brushes, stick your armour on, paint whatever colour scheme you want. It's a much, much easier model to paint than it looks. But I just think they look great. I just really like them. I think they're cool. Big giant robots. I've known about Knights in the storyline for years and years. To see them actually being developed was really exciting. And I love the heraldic designs.
I don't disagree. Next question.
Yeah.
So, that was your favorite army to paint, yes? What's your favorite army to play?
Imperial Knights, because I get to stamp all over things.
I kind of thought it might be that one.
Well, actually, no, there's. I don't know. I think I really like playing with the Astra Militarum, right? Because I love that the average guardsman is a bit rubbish, but they have the potential to do something amazing. So when that one of them shoots that melter gun that destroys blows up Mortarion or something like that, that's amazing and it's hilarious. And so I find them really fun to play with because of that.
So, okay, painting and playing, what would you say are the percentages of painting versus playing that you do personally?
Oh, I would say it's about 85 to 90% painting for me.
And about 15-10% playing?
Yeah. I mostly play with my friends on a Sunday evening. We've been doing a gaming group that's been running for something like 15 years now. And, the various Warhammers are a common thing that we play. And so, yeah, that's when I tend to play the most. It's after work and it's on Warhammer Live as well, but that's the most frequent gaming activity I get. But for painting, I do that most nights.
Yeah, I can see that. That makes a lot of sense.
I really do love my painting.
Open narrative or match play, what's your favorite?
Narrative, I think.
Why narrative?
Because for me, what makes Warhammer so unique is its storylines. So, like going back to my Imperial Knights example, I like the narrative of it's not just I'm picking these various units for competitive reasons or they're what I have. I like creating the stories behind it, so the characters, the units, like the men-at-arms that are subservient to a particular knight house, knights in the Force. And I like the organisation. I like playing in that the general being the general, the lead knight. He's the one having the honour of charging first. So got to charge with him, and I like playing with those kind of constraints. It makes the game lots of fun for me and really brings it alive. I also like that causes stories in amongst my gaming group that we remember for years and years and years. So yeah, that makes it really quite special. It makes it something more than just a game for me. So years ago we did a Warhammer Fantasy campaign that went on for a year really, and at the very end of it, Chris Peach would have won it had not the guy playing against him rolled snake eyes in the very last dice roll of the game, and his character refused to run away, and so that heroic thing then inspired the victory, and all the other troops ran away, and that kind of like that story building just because of that dice result. For me, it's more the story rather than the thing, rather than the various
numbers,
combinations of numbers, all that sort of thing. Yeah. That's what really led to that. So it's
I
a
agree.
very special thing for all of us.
I feel the same way. Yeah, I prefer to fight a game, and I know that what I'm doing is adding skulls to the skull throne for a very specific reason.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you always aim for like a particular guy whose skull is worth more?
That's a fantastic idea, which I'll do from now on.
See, if you've got the skull from outside of the inside the Imperial Knight on the pilot's head, if you manage to get that skull, that's quite an impressive skull.
Ooh, that's a fantastic idea. I'm seriously going to do that. I love that. It's like out of all these, that one random guy right there, it's worth a little bit more.
Because what you could do is when you're attacking the knight, you do all this, you damage the armor and stuff, but you're like, oh no, focus it just on that hatch by getting your guy on top of there from difficult terrain maybe, and then you fight a duel with the pilot, and then there you go, you got his skull and an empty knight suit that's just standing there with no one left in it.
So out of all the actors that are existing out there in the world, which one are you compared to the most?
Bob Ross. I don't know if you call him an actor.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's an actor, but yeah.
People compare me a lot to Bob Ross.
Yeah. It's definitely the hair.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, talking about happy little Chaos Warriors and
That's
things.
true.
Yeah. Happy little accidents. Yeah.
Well, it's true. The painting and the personality and the soothingness
Yeah.
and the landscapes.
Well, I think it's because we try and have a friendly, welcoming atmosphere about it, which is what you want. Really. You want everyone to feel like they can take part, and I want everyone to feel like they can take part. So that's a large part of my job is getting that across, the personality across. So Roger was certainly very keen on making sure that happened when we started doing this, and at first I was quite wooden for it, but I hope people understand now, that the personalities behind the camera, that we love this stuff and we want people to be able to experience and enjoy it.
So if you were to give somebody like a first-time painter, first-time hobbyist advice on getting into painting, what would be something that you would say to them?
I would begin by painting the thing that you think looks really cool, the thing you like the most. Failing that, go for one of the starter sets, like the Dark Imperium, for example. And then you want to use spray primer, ideally, for that smooth coat, and then it's an understanding about using a palette to control your paint, to thin it down, of course, and to apply it smoothly and thinly like that, because if you do that, you'll get a better result in the end. That's the key thing, the understanding of how to get that paint to the right consistency and then how to apply it.
Are there certain paint colors that you would consider beginner colors versus more advanced colors to work with?
I would consider yellow and white armies to be tougher ones to do. It's not universal. Things like skeletons, being that bone white, they're actually very easy to do. But if you're trying to get a smooth white, say like on power armor, like trying to do white scars, that's a bit trickier. It's still, it's not as tricky as it used to be, certainly, but that's something worth bearing in mind. It's easier to paint an Ultramarine or a Blood Angel if Space Marines are your thing, or a Dark Angel indeed, rather than a White Scar or an Imperial Fist. But it's not impossible. That's what we try and cover in our daily videos. The technique's still the same kind of thing. It's just mistakes show up a little bit more.
And we don't want those imperfections showing too much.
Well, absolutely. It's all about neatness, man.
Is there something that is particularly difficult for you, more than something else, in terms of painting?
Yeah, actually, weirdly, I find painting black power armor very difficult, which is why I don't have a massive Deathwatch army. It's quite typical. My favourite Space Marine chapters, I like Blood Angels, I really like Black Templars, I really like Deathwatch the most. 2 out of those are wearing black power armor. I always know somebody who's collecting Blood Angels, so I don't want to do them at the same time. But I'm working on ways of how to make it easier while still retaining the black, because the trouble is, what I tend to do is I tend to highlight it too much and it goes too grey, so I'm trying to find an easy method of doing that, and once we've cracked it, I think you'll probably see that on the tip of the day. Yeah.
So, you guys want to check them out?
Hi.
Hey. Oh, questions.
I posted a picture of you guys.
All of us doing this.
Tyler Savaka says, the Lord of
Hello,
Layers.
Tyler.
The Lord of Layers. Yeah.
And Robert Bridgewater says, the 5th God of Chaos, Duncan, Master of Color.
Okay, so here's a question.
Walsh says, what is it like meeting God in person? Andy Greenfield says, Duncan is in love. I'll just leave you.
I love everyone.
All right,
Everyone
all right. Okay, so for the 2 thin coats thing, this is a thing that's it's always going to be a thing now. It's been immortalized. So for those who don't know, can you explain where that started?
All right, so no one ever told me this kind of thing when I was getting into the hobby. So what I do is apply the paint really thickly to try and get it to be a solid coverage. I didn't understand why you'd keep it thinner. Just paint it on, there you go. When it was Chris Peach actually showed me this kind of thing of do it thinner, do this kind of thing. And then it made sense that you still get that strong finish to it, but you get the smoother finish as well, and that's what's really important about it. So it's a thing that's not immediately obvious to people when they start the hobby, which is why we always said it in the videos. Same with things like shaking your paint pots, using the palette, thinning your paint, that sort of thing. And like I suppose a lot of catchphrases, it just sort of stuck without me intending it to be a catchphrase. People just noticed I kept saying it, and then that was that. So so it wasn't me intentionally trying to make it a thing. The community kind of did it, and it's become now just a running joke, I suppose.
Yes.
But it's...
But serious, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's genuine advice. It's true. It's completely true. I certainly don't mind people making fun of it as long as they remember it.
Yeah, it serves its purpose if that happens, right?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And people will get better results out of doing it. So it's brilliant. Everyone wins.
Do you have any phrases in the hobby, in the industry, in the painting aspect of it that you say kind of like that that you would also say to help people remember techniques?
Oh, it would be things like thin your paint on your palette, use the palette to help control your brush, don't overload your brush, I think those kind of things. Neatness is key, I suppose, is another thing as well, being neat. I understand that takes practice, though, of getting that steady hand, but it's achievable. Yeah.
So what's your favorite army beside the, more specific, favorite Space Marine chapter?
Oh, it is the Deathwatch, because that's all chapters together.
That's right. You did tell me that already.
It's got,
other than that, and so other than that, it's secondary to that. Then.
Okay. I really like the Black Templars because they're crusading image. I like all the chains and all the swords they've got, and the kind of chaotic nature of their squads. Just having whatever weapons. I think that's really cool. It's very, very 40k.
Yes. And ironically, it's black.
Yes. Again, another black chapter.
And the challenge to paint it is...
Yes,
is
yes. But I did do a Black Templar for quite a small force years and years ago. I had a blast playing with them. All about heroic challenges, the one-on-one combat, all that kind of stuff. I think they're really cool for that. But I also really like Blood Angels because I think their colour scheme's really nice. I like schemes where you get a bit of variety in them. So the different coloured helmets, the different unit types. I really like that. I think that's very cool.
So Peachy. Peachy's with you now?
Yes, he's. I think he's over interviewing Andy Hoare at the moment. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, he's right over there. Just behind all you people. If you turn around, you can probably see him.
He's kind of like Jason Statham's younger brother.
Kind of, yeah. He's a he's a very funny, zany guy. Yeah, he's a really good friend. We've known each other for a long time. I think at least 15 years. I actually, when I joined the retail chain, I was looking for a summer job, and he was the part-time. Well, he's the full-timer there, and he kind of taught me how to play the game again. I'd not played it for like 2 years, and then I talked to him about a summer job, and yeah, I got it. And so I was a part-timer and he was a full-timer. Then he moved on to become manager of the store, and I took his place as the full-timer. So we've kind of just known each other ever since then. Yeah, it's quite funny that we keep ending up working in different jobs elsewhere, then we come back together again, then separate, then come back together again. So yeah,
that's good. It's meant to be.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
He looks like a good person who likes people.
He is. He's a really decent guy. Really decent guy. Brilliant guy to have as a friend. Yeah. I really hope the community is accepting of him as well. Actually, now he's started doing painting videos. It's difficult at first when people do them because of the number of things to remember to do at the same time. I often liken it to learning to drive. Yeah. But once you remember those things, it actually becomes a lot simpler, and then your personality can come out more on camera. But I think the content of what he's done in the videos so far for all of his painting videos has been awesome. So I think he's really going to fit in.
I think it's good too that you got a couple of you now, so you kind of bounce things off each other. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's great because we can actually talk now about what we're doing for the content of the videos. He'll have ideas of doing things in a different way to me, which is cool because then it challenges what I'm doing, make sure I'm not just stuck in a rut, and vice versa for him. So it also means we're going to be able to do more videos too. So at the moment we've been working on Mortarion, but various projects have come along that have delayed it. We've had to react to, which is why it's taken so long. Now Peachy's joined us. It's meant that Roger and I can focus on the Mortarion video, and we'll be able to produce more stuff and faster. So yeah, it's great.
That is fantastic for the community. I'm very happy to hear that. Mm-hmm. And congratulations on being the god of painting and the fifth god of chaos for painting, and the awesomeness of everything that you are, because you're awesome.
Thank you.
It's true. I speak truth. I don't like to lie to people, and so I don't.
Well, thank you. I'm always very humbled by this because to me it's always just about the painting content. I'm always overwhelmed by just how much people have taken me to heart, I guess, and how much they like what we do. It's certainly not we intended or expected at first. We just wanted people to be able to paint their models better and feel more like they're part of a community. That was what it was all about. So it's all of this like bizarre fifth chaos god stuff. That's a really really strange offshoot, but I'm just glad that people like what we do.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for tuning in, guys. And this has been Duncan. Duncan is the best. Check out his painting tutorials on Warhammer website, on the Games Workshop website. So what's the specific link to people or the show?
Best place to go is either our Facebook page, which is Warhammer TV, or go to our YouTube channel, which again is Warhammer TV. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much, and happy wargaming.